fans had to see, if you're a season ticket member, you opted in earlier in the season for this potential opportunity. Everything's going to be based on seniority. It's general season ticket holders that have season tickets in the outdoor seating area, and it's club members that have seats in the clubs, and it's also some suite members that have seats in the suite areas.
So that term is referring to a few different groups of people.
Yes, yes.
Two other quick questions then. If you own 2 season tickets, can you purchase 4 for a playoff game? And then secondarily, when people receive those emails, will they have to buy immediately? Will they be told you have to buy in this hour-long window? How will that work too?
Yeah, so they're going to receive an email for time slots to purchase the tickets. It's really, again, based on seniority. So whether it's a 2-seat ticket pod or a 4-seat ticket pod, they won't really have the option to determine the size of the pod for themselves. It would be whatever is available when they, have the opportunity to log on.
So if you only own 2 season tickets, you can purchase 4 for a playoff game.
I think the way that would work is that, again, it's going to be based on, their seniority when they have the opportunity to buy the ticket. Whether it's a 2 or 4, whatever is available at the time that they have that opportunity for the time slot that they log on.
Okay. Andy, thank you very much.
Sure.
Michael, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi. How many Bills season ticket holders opted in?
I'm not sure about that number. That's a good question. I know we have approximately 50,000 season ticket account holders, about 13,000 accounts. And unfortunately, because of the limited capacity that we're working under, it's approximately 6,700 tickets or so. So it kind of gives you a rough idea how tough the tickets are going to be for fans and for season ticket holders. But we're very, excited and happy to give them that opportunity, working closely with New York State and their Department of Health officials, our team at the Bills, and just making sure we're doing everything for, the health and safety of our fans, the team, the players, and all the staff that will also be working, at the stadium as well.
People would have a much better sense of how their chances of getting a ticket if you guys released how many people opted in. How can you not know that number?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm sure we can circle back on that. But we have 50,000 season tickets, and we have 13,000 accounts, and we have about 6,700 tickets available.
Hey, Andy, it's about 13,000.
13,000? Okay, great. We got the answer for you. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, Andy, Jim Fink from Business First. How are you?
Good. Hi, Jim. How are you? Good to see you.
Two questions. One, are suite holders going to be part of the 6,700, or is this bowl only seats?
Yeah, so there's season ticket members, the general seating area, the club members, and also the suite holders. The suite holders will be a part of the suite ticket opportunity. So I don't know if that answers your question, but does that answer your question?
Well, what percentage of the 6,700 will be like suite holders? Do you know?
The entire percentage, roughly, I think it's 10% of our fans will have that by each seating category. By each seat category. So I believe it's in the 10% range.
About 60 suites, Andy.
Oh, so I'm sorry, the total number of suites? Yes, 60 suites.
Okay. And was there any thought as to giving tickets to first responders or healthcare heroes as opposed to season ticket holders, just as a way to say thank you?
Yeah, we're still working through a lot of different things, Jim, to be honest with you. This is, this is a big undertaking, as you can imagine, a bit unprecedented. So there's a lot of great ideas and thoughts that we're reviewing internally with regard to that. And, so we'll want to do a lot of different things, a lot of great ideas there. So we'll just continue to work hard to get that done and see where we end up, who ends up at our game from a season ticket member standpoint, et cetera. But yeah, it is something we're looking at.
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Andy Major, Ruffalo Sports 1080, Mookie Hawkins. First and foremost, man, and fans are very appreciative of the Buffalo Bills organization for this finally coming to fruition. And we know it's all fairly new for you guys in reference to how to structure this. Just a couple questions. How much will tickets be? And as far as seating purposes in the general area, will hundreds be available, or will it just be 200 or above?
Yeah, great question, Mookie. I mean, a lot of this information will be on our FAQ page on our Bills website, but basically the ticket price range is from $65, I believe, up to $330. So that's the range of ticket pricing. The fans, there'll also be a $63 cost for the testing for each fan, and then an $11 charge for the parking for each fan. So that gives you the range of the cost for an individual person.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Mookie. Appreciate it.
Hi, Andy. Matt Fairburn from The Athletic here.
Hi,
I
Matt.
was wondering if you might be able to kind of retrace your steps and take us back through what this year has been like in terms of, I'm sure this plan has evolved somewhat over the years, and just maybe some of the people that helped put it together. Yeah,
Matt. I mean, geez, it's funny you just said over the years. It actually feels like years. Yeah, we've been at this almost a year, right? I mean, we've been working hard, very closely with our owner, Kim Pagula and Terry Pagula, having daily calls from the time that our staff were sent home to work from home back in, I believe it was March of this past year. We've been on calls almost every day with our owners, with our internal team. We've also been very heavily engaged with the National Football League and their team. And, we've also been very engaged with our local health officials and the state health officials and the governor's office throughout this whole period of time. And countless number of hours, countless number of meetings. We're finally going to have fans. We think and we feel that we have a very safe plan for having fans back at the stadium. We felt that way even as far back as August. But we certainly understand the concerns from, New York State and the positive test rates across New York State. So, again, just a ton of work. It's all worth it. At the end of the day, we know that we've got amazing fans that want to be at this game. They care about this team very much. We're having an amazing season. And as much as the fans want to be at our game, our players, our coaches, and our team, they want to have some support at our home Bills Stadium as well. So, I think it's great that we're finally going to have a few fans here and have a little support for our team. The first place AFC East Division champs. So we're hopeful that this goes very well. It goes very safely, so that, and we hope that the fans really take this seriously, because, we would love to do this again, the following week and again, and do this at home at Bills Stadium. So a little bit of a long-winded answer, but appreciate the question.
And I know you guys mentioned that no tailgating will be allowed. What has the communication been like with the county in terms of a plan to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. It's been ongoing, with the county executive's office, with their officials, with their staff from the Department of Health. We've been in touch with them quite often on a lot of these things, as you can imagine. And, the no tailgating, again, we know we have the best tailgating fans in the country, and that's one of the things that, is disappointing about this whole pandemic, right? Not having fans, not seeing our fans have the ability to tailgate and do their thing and then go in and support this team who's having such a great season on the field. But, we're ready to be as safe as we ultimately possibly can. And we just ask the fans to please, follow all the guidelines, all the mandates. We really are emphasizing wearing your mask at all times, from the parking lot to the gate entry to your seat. We're going to have sanitizer stations everywhere. We're going to have social distance markers and signage. We encourage fans to wash their hands, to really stay in their zone. We're going to have the stadium in 2 different zones, a north and a south zone, so that we encourage fans to stay within their seated area and within their zone. So again, a lot of planning, a lot of work behind the scenes with a lot of people, and probably too many names to mention, honestly, Matthew, because there's too many. I'm sure I'd leave someone out. I feel terrible about that. But a ton of folks here at the Bills, and then at the county level and at the state level. Too many to mention, but everybody's got the best interests of the fans in mind, the staff and the team.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Jenna from WKBW. We've talked so much about getting fans back in the stands, but I know that you guys are, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are going to have some limited concessions, and now you're welcoming back 6,700 people in the stadium. So how many people are actually going to be able to get back to work and work this weekend? The concessioners, the people in the stands. I mean, how great is it to welcome some of these people back who've probably really missed doing what they love come game day?
Jenna, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, throughout the whole season, we've been very hopeful to have fans each home game, and we've been ready in general terms from a fan and staff safety program. But from bringing the staff back, I'm not going to lie here. This is a challenge. This is a big job for us to do that. The great news, though, is we have been in continued communication, collaborating with our partners that staff our building, including the concessions, which is Delaware North. And they've been tremendous. They've been on top of staying in great communication with their staff throughout the whole season, and always leaving that open door. Hey, just in case, guys, we know we're not there yet. We just passed another home game with no fans, but let's be optimistic about having fans at the next game, and be ready. So really, we've been in the ready mode almost the whole season, Jenna, and now we're pulling the trigger. And I can tell you that the early returns, the early responses from staff is extremely positive, as you can imagine. They want to come back to work. They're excited to come back to work. They're excited about our season. This isn't the first time we've spoken to them since last March or August. We've been talking to these staff all season long. So we feel pretty confident we're going to have enough staff for the 6,700 fans. And it's going to be a cashless transaction for fans at our food and beverage area. We're going to have all the stands will have social distancing for the workers at the stands. We'll have social distance markers. And then there's no reason for fans to leave to go to other concession locations, because it's going to be a very consistent menu at every location. So they don't have to go to a different location for a different kind of food item. It'll be the same at every stand. So hopefully that'll help us out too, to be safe.
And then I just have another quick question. We've been talking to the players about this since, the possibility first came out. They obviously were excited about the potential. Fans are excited now this is going to happen. Meanwhile, over at KeyBank Center, Sabres are just kind of starting to get their season going. They've been asked about the possibility of having fans. They really want that to happen. So how important is it that you guys get this right, not just to benefit the Bills and your organization, but to benefit maybe another team or another sports venue who wants to have fans in the stands in the near future?
Jenna, absolutely. I mean, from day one, Kim was harping on us, let's make sure we do this right. Let's take our time. Let's make sure the policies are correct. Make sure, we're crossing our T's. We're collaborating with the right people. We've had task forces during this whole off season that's been inclusive of folks from the Sabres and the Bills. And we've been sharing our, best practices, our messages, our information from our fellow peers at the NFL level, from other teams. And they've been sharing, some of their stories and some of the things that they've been hearing from, their fellow peers at the hockey level and within the league at other NHL teams. So you're right. Like we want to make sure we get this right. And that's why maybe one of the reasons why it's taken as long as it has to prove that we have a safe plan, to our friends at the governor's office, and to prove along, and be supporters with BioReference and with the governor's office to operationally do this and do it right and do it well. Again, I would encourage our fans that will be attending the game to, help us out. Like, we're going to really need them to follow the procedures, be safe, show the rest of the country that, we are the best fans in the league. And by the way, we also can be safe and make sure our friends down the road at the Sabres can do the same thing to host, hopefully host fans down the road at Sabres games, and then host hopefully more playoff games with fans this season as well.
All right. Thanks for your time, Andy.
Thank you, Jenna.
It's hey Andy, it's John Scott from Spectrum News.
Hey, John.
Expanding on that, we know everyone who attends the game from a fan perspective is required to be tested. What about the concession workers and everyone else that will be in the building?
Yeah, John, great question. We are also going to be testing all of our game day staff as well. So they are also a part of this whole plan to make sure it's safe for the fans, but also safe for the staff and each other collectively. We're all in this together. We're all one team. We're one Buffalo. We want to, all be supportive of the health and safety measures that, the governor's office and the Department of Health have laid out for us, and the CDC mandates, and then the protocols with the NFL as well. So we're all in this together, and that includes the game day staff. That includes our full-time staff. That includes, obviously, you guys know, we're testing the players and the team personnel. So again, everybody's getting tested.
And then one quick follow-up. You mentioned the zones, the north and south zones. How will the seating chart, for lack of a better term, can you kind of map that out for us so we can envision how everyone will be spaced out and socially distanced?
Yeah, sure, John. Again, some of this info is on the website, and we have some diagrams and maps laid out to help with that question. But in general terms, we're splitting the stadium in half between the two end zones. So on the east side of the stadium, the east end zone, and then the west side of the stadium with the west end zone, basically that's where we're cutting off the two zones. And then so folks who have tickets that may pertain to the north side of the stadium would enter one of those gates and be assigned one of those gates. And then they'd be assigned a specific timed entry as well to enter that gate at that specific time. So that just helps us keep fans, even with 6,700 fans, we're going to have all the gates open. We're going to have social distancing at the gates, and we'll have everybody spread out for their arrival time to the gates to avoid any congestion. So good question, and we feel that we have a good zone plan to help us keep that separation.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Andy, Marcel Louis-Jacques with ESPN. I know in the release that the team put out, it said that the general public or tickets are not expected to be available to the general public. I'm curious what needs to happen in order for the general public, the non-season ticket holders, to obtain tickets.
Yeah, Marcel, I mean, in this plan that's been laid out, this is going to only be available for season ticket members. So I don't want to speculate on, anything, in the future. We obviously remain hopeful to have all of our fans, whether they're season ticket holders or not, at our games in 2021. We all, I think, share that sentiment, but, hopefully that's the case. That's a hard question to answer at this point, given the pandemic state right now.
Yeah. So when it says not expected, it's not like It's more like they're not available then.
Yeah, no, right. Like right now, the opportunity for tickets is season ticket members only, right?
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to clarify that. And also, I mean, 6,200 available for season ticket holders, and I believe the number is 6,772 in total allowed. So that's 572. Where are those other 572 tickets going? I mean, I can imagine where, but I'd just like to hear it from you.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of obligations for playoff games from the NFL standpoint. So the 6772 number is the max per New York State guidelines. So we feel like we can get as many as 6,200 of our, season ticket holders in there. But that gives us the allowance to comply with all the, team and NFL ticket requirements.
So like what we're talking player families, any opposing team fans allowed in, or I guess you said season ticket members only, right?
Yeah, Marcel, it's a combination of all of that and then a few other areas with, broadcast media personnel and different things like that to get to that total number. But yeah, it's definitely through that overall ticket allotment with the NFL.